Please, host, can you enable me to share my screen or make me the host?
Yes, you can share your screen now.
All right. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
All right, great. So today we'll be talking about, the opportunities in the logistics space. But of course, to start with, we are going to engage in some facts because it's based on facts and problems that we find opportunities as entrepreneurs. It's no news to everyone that the Nigerian or African logistic market is largely fragmented and underserved. And this is mainly due to driver inefficiency. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced, logistic hitches, whether, it's an airline or, shipping, as long as you live, in this part of the world. Here are some facts, to put at the back of your mind. Number one is the fact that 90% of the businesses in Africa are small and medium enterprises, which they rely heavily on last mile logistics for their survival. So typically this business do not have huge capital, that they will stock a lot of raw materials. So they have to keep going back and forth. They just maybe buy what they need for or for some few days, and they have to keep restocking. And this has, triggered the demand, for logistics services, most especially the last mile logistics in Africa. And secondly, 85% of the delivery players in Africa use little or no technology. What I'm talking about here is we usually use conventional methods of deliveries, such as method, or even manual paper-based, which can be very cumbersome and unorganized. Another thing is that most drivers are unequipped with the right technology and tools to face this opportunity. Clearly, there's an opportunity, with this problem. Like I mentioned earlier, as entrepreneurs, we always find opportunities when there are problems. But the players need to be able to have the right tools in order to tackle, this opportunity. You see, most of the riders don't have the right equipment. You're talking about smartphones, you're talking about, the kind of bike they use, to handle these deliveries. And I'm sure most of you have experienced and attest to this fact. So besides this fact, just to dive in to understand the size of the amount, the market size in terms of the money, for please, can everybody go ahead and mute their microphone, just to avoid interruption. Thank you. So the logistic market is about $12 billion market. I'm sure most of you have calculators, but the numbers are enormous, and this is dollar number, not even naira. By the time you multiply it, whether official or unofficial exchange rate, you can see how magnificent, the market size is. And the reason why, this market is, so big is because it's driven by quick service food, people that order from the likes of Republic, all these small corner shops and so on. Of course, there's retail and e-commerce. We have the likes of Konga, Jumia, and so many people trying to sell things online or are selling things online, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. I'm sure you can list numbers and numbers of your friends, that handle this. So the contribution of all these activities have, immensely empowered the logistic market to be this huge of about $2 billion total available market, So this is the size of the market, we're talking about, so that you understand the amount of opportunity that exists in this market. Okay. All right. So how do we, absorb this opportunity and be able to, exploit in order to make money? The first thing, you try to do is order aggregation. Like I mentioned earlier, most of the delivery companies, they use conventional method of, making deliveries. But at Sharp, there's something we call Sharp Business, where we use APIs and applications, Android app, iOS. Okay. So this can all right. And these orders can come from pharmacies, it could be documents from offices, it could be from restaurants, which is the most popular, groceries. It could also be errands, sending someone to handle some few errands, as other parcel. So once these orders are captured, imagine a comparison of someone trying to capture these orders, via formal method, writing it on a piece of paper or on an Excel sheet. You can understand how cumbersome that is. But there are advanced technologies that are used, all over the world, to capture these orders via an app or API, then optimize them. Basically, in the process of optimizing is to understand, number one, what kind of item you are delivering. For example, you want to move something from a pharmacy, and someone's documents or groceries, right? Also to understand the distance. Is it a 5 kilometer distance, is it a 10 kilometer distance, in order to even determine the cost at which you are going to charge customer to handle these deliveries. Once that is done, you also need to be able to find the most efficient driver that will be able to handle this delivery. What I'm talking about here is, if, for example, in Abuja, order is coming from Musutu, you don't want to take a driver from Gwarimpa and make him blow his petrol all the way to Wusetu to pick that order. So what the system does is understand which is the nearest driver and the one that is free and most appropriate to be able to handle, this delivery, and then allocate that order to them. So this is a method powered by artificial intelligence to ensure that, number one, drivers are not wasting a lot of fuel running around. Number two, that also customers are not waiting too long in terms of getting their orders picked up as well as delivered. Okay. So typically, how does this work? Okay. Have pushed the boundaries in Sharp. Previously, we only have our systems that is in-house, owned by us alone, right? But today we are talking about how to make six figures earnings, right? So we have decided to white label our solution and offer it to entrepreneurs like you. Okay. Something like Shopify, where you can go take our own app, change the colors to suit your own needs, and then offer it to your own customers or clients. Okay. And we made it so simple that you just need to take it, plug it in. Also, there's the monitoring aspect and the most interesting aspect, which is how to earn. Okay. Number one, the system is built to be very user-friendly. If you have multiple outlets as an e-commerce, accommodate multiple stores. You can also have a section, to handle your campaigns, push notification, to tell your customers Happy Christmas, Happy Salah, and the likes. And of course, it has wallet and payment gateway. All these things, you don't need to worry about it. It all comes in as one whole package, all offered by us. Secondly, once you have your own system, you need to monitor. You need to see how well you are doing. You need to be able to monitor the items you are delivering, or if you are an e-commerce, the items that you are selling. Okay, which is basically order management. And of course, you need to understand statistics in terms of reporting, how you are growing month on month or week on week, as well as the ability to manage your own employees, through whole that system. And of course, the last bit where you have automated management of deliveries as well as errands, route optimization, which is done completely automatic, order tracking, so that you see, orders, how they are moving on the dashboard, as well as auto settlement, once payment is made between you and your customers. Okay. So just to expatiate on that, what we're offering is an application that in less than 10 days, you can have it in your own name with your own logo. And this application, you can use it for parcel deliveries. That is, if you're a logistic company, offer it to your customers, to be able to pick up and deliver items. Or if you have stores. So basically, we're empowering you to be your own Jumia Foods, okay? Where you can onboard either your own stores or third-party stores and say, okay, today is Umar Logistics, or today is Zainab's Foods, where customers or clients of yours, can go in, see whatever you offer, place an order, and have it delivered. Okay. And this app will come both in iOS, Android, as well as web, all in your name, in your colors, in your logos, and seamless, without the whole headache of having to be a technically savvy person, to be able to make earnings for yourself. Okay. So there's something very interesting that Shap offers. Some of you don't live in the country or live outside the country, or don't have the energy to start chasing riders up and down. Okay. Um, Basically, the way our system works is it takes orders from our app, from partner apps, like Jumia, Glovo, Conga, and of course the white label solution that we are speaking about today, which you could own anytime, as well as API. So all these orders come through a single channel, get optimized, ready to be allocated to drivers. And in terms of the allocation to the drivers, here there are two options. Okay. You want to have your in-house drivers, which means they are solely your own drivers. You are paying them salary, to do this work, or you want Shap to handle the headache of delivering, to you. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a restaurant, okay, and I want my own drivers. So there's a way we design the system in such a way that those orders will only be allocated to your drivers. They could be 5, they could be 10, they could be 20 in numbers, okay? Or you say, no, I don't want to deal with drivers' headache. I just want to give it to my customers, let them place an order. And just like Uber, you handle Shap, you go handle the deliveries, for us, which we call the public pool, driver pool, okay? And we'll be more than happy to handle it. But this is where it gets more interesting. You can see that the entire business has sort of become virtual. And I'll deep dive into explaining that. For example, let's say I'm living in the UK as a diaspora, but I want to tap into this huge market opportunity, Nigeria, to be able to earn some money. I can build my app and call it GD Logistics. I don't live in the country, but I went to acquire the application, from Shap. And I'm asking Shap to use their own drivers to handle these deliveries. So what does GD needs to do here? All GD needs to do is to open his Instagram, get his own application, and advertise to people, set his delivery prices, and then people will place that order. But from the back end, nobody knows that you don't have a single driver, just like Uber today. If I ask you where is their office, probably most of you don't know, or Bolt, you don't know where their offices are. And the drivers are just, people that we know every day in our daily lives. So basically, you can have that kind of arrangement where you don't live in the cities, or you don't even live in the country. However, you can acquire your own application, build your own customer base, advertise to them, have them make deliveries, and then we handle the legwork of managing and delivering. I don't think it gets any more exciting than this. So, diving down into unit economics so that you understand the capacity of these drivers, as we're talking about. On an average, one driver can serve 50 customers. We're talking about average orders that customers make. Typically, a driver can do about 12 deliveries per day, and in 6 months they'll be able to do 1,500 deliveries. And if we are talking about an average of 1,019 naira, which is the current average price for delivery in Nigeria, you get a gross earning of about 1.5 naira every 6 months. This is just dive in and make you understand how much each driver can generate uh, money on the platform. So, of course, we need social proof for whatever we're doing. And here are some quotes from some of the previous entrepreneurs like you that we work with. From Ada, which is a small restaurant, that doesn't have a delivery bike, and was having headache, but we partnered together. Sorry, please, can we mute? For
Please, can we mute our mics, please? Thank you.
all right. So, Ada was a small company, food company, having who doesn't have any single bike, that we built an app for, was helping her, collect orders as well as delivering using the general pool. Okay. Secondly, there is a guy, Abubakar, who owns a logistic company, and Abubakar doesn't have a but has acquired this application and was able to place orders, absorb orders, from Instagram, Facebook, direct his customers to use his application, and then we handle the legwork for the delivery. Okay. Also, there's a lady that we work with, Mrs. Raji, who owns a supermarket, and used to get a minimum of 10 orders in 2 hours, but most customers will get their order, they wouldn't get their order on time, because they don't have a delivery plan, but was using this same Shap system, and they started delivering, started receiving package, within the hour, and the customers were very, very much happy. Okay. Also, we're working with a verification company where we enable them to handle their address verifications. For example, if you go to the bank, if you're opening a current account, they always ask you for the description of your house, and that is not for nothing. Okay. Some people have to go and make that verification, so that was also handled by us. Okay. So I'm sure a lot of you have been thinking, okay, so what is the pricing, in terms of ability to acquire these things? Okay. The first thing is we have to know whether we're offering, whether you want an e-commerce or a delivery platform. An e-commerce platform is a platform where you put goods and you're able to sell. While a delivery platform is, you are purely a logistic company, you're offering a service of pick up and drop off, to your customers. Okay. And in either of these, you have the option of going with the public pool or going with the private pool. The public pool is drivers that do not belong to you. You are just sorry, no, Rafiat, can you mute, please? All right. All All right. Like I mentioned earlier, there are two options, whether you're an e-commerce company or a delivery company, right? And in either of the options, you can decide whether you want to use your own drivers or you want to use the floating drivers, just like Uber and Co. Okay, which is what we call, the private pool. Okay. So typically, if you are using the public pool, there needs to be a sharing between you and the driver because the driver, is not working for you. However, if you are using the private pool, you get to pay the driver salary, and then you can agree on the numbers with that. Okay. And from our end, what we typically do is we charge you a one-time onboarding fee, uh, depending on the platform you want to go for. Okay. And it's the same price for e-commerce or logistics. So the prices, as you can see on my screen, differ whether it's an Android application you want, iOS application you want, a combination of both, or web as well as API. Some of you here already have their own e-commerce platform. All they need to do is to plug it via an API, to be able to absorb, these orders. Okay. If you are an e-commerce company, besides the onboarding cost, there's a subscription that you get to pay on a monthly basis, okay, which is very minimal, just 50,000 naira per outlet, okay. And if you are a delivery company and you have your own drivers, what we do is we charge you just 10,000 naira per driver per month, just to sustain the whole optimization and maintain the application on your behalf. And you don't need to have engineers, or you don't need to be technically savvy, you don't need to have developers, to be able to manage this, okay? And if you are going for the public pool rate, just to give you an idea, a minimum charge of 700, is done so that you can understand how much you earn if you're a logistic company. And for every kilometer is 70 naira. And that's how we arrived the other time at an average of a little bit over 1,000 naira, per delivery. Okay. So here are some frequently asked questions that I'll run through. Of course, we'll open up later for more questions. Number one, what is Sharp Business and how does it work? Simply is a platform where merchants or vendors can get a customized web and mobile app, in their name, with seamless delivery. Okay. Can I own my domain with SharpSharp? Of course, you can have www.sanusi.com, or Sanusi Logistics or Jide Foods, that's totally up to you. Okay. And how long does it take to set up this system? Maximum of 10 working days, you'll be up and running with your own application. And like I mentioned earlier, you don't need to be a designer or developer, to be able to tap into an opportunity like this. Okay. I'm sure you'll be wondering, okay, who is this guy? What has he done? And why is he giving us, all these facts, statistics? But I'd love to show you some of the, traction, we have had in the past couple of months, with over 200,000 deliveries, over 4,000 users, working with over 300 SMEs. And I'm sure some of these partners that we have, like Red Star, Nine Mobile, Glovo, Uber, Jumia Foods. They're all our partners, and we work together in offering seamless and efficient deliveries. Okay. Here is the team behind, the executive team behind SharpSharp. Myself, our head of growth, Enoch, Othman, the CEO, and of course, Nimot, our head of digital engagement that put this masterclass together. On the executive team, we have over 30 years of combined experience and bringing it forward together, to ensure we tackle this challenge as well, which is also an opportunity, for entrepreneurs to earn. Okay. And why should you work with SharpSharp? Interestingly, we're living in Nigeria, and Africa in general is a very local market. And what I mean by local market is you see that there are a lot of local companies doing really amazing things, in Nigeria. Today, the best banks, the top 10 banks in the country, despite our complaints. I know we go to Twitter, you see a lot of complaints. They're all local banks, you know. You don't find an international bank in the top 10, you know, they're much below that. And I'm sure you've had the story of Paystack, Flutterwave doing really amazing things, and having partners like even Visa, MasterCard, you know, trying to buy shares in those companies because local players truly understand this market. We know how to navigate this terrain, and we'll be able to approach, you know, these challenges much, much better. And this should be an encouragement for you to also key in as a local entrepreneur to be able to handle this opportunity because the market belongs to you. Okay. So this is about it from me, and we'll open it up for interactive questions. Nimat will coordinate that. I don't know if it's best we send questions via chat, or you know, we open it up in a, you know, in an organized manner. Thank you very much, and I look forward to as many questions from you. So questions, please. Questions, please. I think we dropped them on in the chat. Okay. Okay.
Hello, good
Abiodun is saying that I'm confused. I'm interested, however, I'm confused when it comes to monthly subscription payment per driver. That is if I'm using my own driver. Okay. So I'll take you back to the slide. If you are using your own driver, first of all, you need to agree with your driver as to how much you pay them salary. Is totally none of our business. Okay. And all you need to pay us is for every driver, you pay 10,000 naira per month for us to sustain and maintain your app for you. And that's all you need to pay us. I hope that's clear.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I raise up my hand. Can I talk, please?
Yes,
I
you
can't
can talk, Adebisi.
Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Yeah, I want to ask, you said that if there is someone that have an e-commerce website before and the person wants to plug in with your API, that
Yes.
does that person also need to be paying any money?
Yes, you pay in an integration fee, and you can see on my screen, it's just 500,000, and then you will integrate with you, and all orders coming from your e-commerce, you send it for deliveries.
Okay, no problem. That's the plan of your organization, but all I know is when it comes to API integration, so far the company is making money already from the company that is coming to them. I don't think that that amount is somehow too high. Maybe if you can review it for us, then you can also be your partner. So because I'm looking for an opportunity like this before, but what I see, the price I see really turned me off. So that's what I want to say.
Thank you very much, Adebisi. So someone is saying, I have a logistic company. How can I get more customers within and outside my seat? So Khadija, first of all, customer experience is very important, and that's why we're offering this system, you know, to be able to manage deliveries in a very efficient manner. Okay. You don't want, customer doesn't want a cumbersome process. And one of the greatest things that drive this industry is referral. Okay. When someone uses a system and they're happy with it, you know, they refer it to their friends. And that is why it's important, you know, to have a solid technology, you know, to be able to absorb that. But besides that, you also need to do marketing on Instagram, Facebook, and the likes to be able to, you know, get more customers, and also show them social proof of people that have used your application and they're happy with it, in order to earn more, basically. Thank you. All right. Someone is saying on the private pool, it's clear. Could you explain the payment method and the system for public pool? Okay. So the public pool is very similar, to Uber, okay, which is a sharing formula between you and the driver that is working for you. For example, if the delivery is 1,000 naira, some amount goes to the driver and some amount, goes to you as the person that got him the job. So basically, an Uber model, okay?
Yeah.
See motions. So someone is asking, can you talk me through the one platform, multiple interface? Okay. So what we are talking about here is the same application, you can use it for e-commerce and you can use it for delivery. Okay. So which means is a one platform, but gives you multiple interfaces, to be able to manage your operations. Okay. And here is Destiny saying we operate in Port Harcourt, and we want to work with Sharp Business in Port Harcourt. We're happy to work with you. Our email is info@sharpsharp.com. You can put forward, this request, and our business development team will reach out. We're already looking for partners in, Port Harcourt, or our head of growth, has dropped his email, and they can always engage. Okay. Sadatu, you'd like to ask questions, please go ahead and type your question. Or if you
I think
want,
it's
you can.
more verbal. Hi,
Okay.
good afternoon.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes, basically I need more clarification. I have a logistics company in Abuja. So, and then I have a driver. So is it like basically like Bolt or Uber, right? That's how it operates, is it?
Yes, yes. So currently, do you have an application, or how do you manage your logistics?
Just the manual way, phone call, write it down and all that. Yeah, so it's just a baby company.
Yes.
So yeah, we're trying to expand. And this seems interesting. At least it gets some of the load off you. So basically, I wanted to know this one-time onboarding cost.
Yes.
Please, I need more explanation on that.
Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're building an application, and that is the cost for it. We call it Saadatu Logistics. You give us your logo, your colors, okay, so that you don't have to be doing manual operations.
Right.
And it's very scalable. And on that application, you can go into the back end and set the price that you want to charge your customers.
So who manages that? You or me?
So it's just like your Gmail, right? Gmail
Right.
builds the solution, but you manage it by yourself. So we
Okay.
give you that freedom to set your price and the
Okay.
likes, but it's fully automated. So it's
Right.
not like anytime someone places an order, you have to come and push it. No, automatically your drivers will get it.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
understand.
And in where you get so many orders that your drivers, since currently you have in-house drivers, are overwhelmed, then you can tap into the public pool to handle the deliveries for you.
Right.
And then it becomes a case of sharing formula between you and the public pool drivers, just like Uber.
Okay. But with my driver, it's not a sharing formula. But with the public pool,
is a sharing formula. With your driver, you're paying him salary, right?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sadiq is asking if we have plans in coming to Kano, and I would love to partner. Yes, we do. We would like to start early next year, and you can go ahead and send us an email to indicate your interest, and we'll keep in touch. Abdurrashid, you can go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, thank you, Khalid, for this wonderful presentation. My question is similar to the immediate person that left